Hello and welcome back to my channel guys. In this video, let's review the all new 2021 KTM RC 125 in its BS6 avatar. And before we get into the video guys, let me tell you a small little story that happened with me. So guys, I wanted to review these 125 and 150cc motorcycles because I made a video as to which of these motorcycles should youngsters actually buy. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's up in the cards. And since I made that video, I really wanted to ride all of these motorcycles. I've ridden some of them, but not all of them. And RC125 was one of the motorcycles that I hadn't ridden. So I was really excited to actually go to KTM, take a test ride and try it out and whatnot. But what happened is luck happened to me, and luck actually got the motorcycle to me. I'm not kidding. I was down below my society complex. I was shopping, and this dude on the RC 125 actually parked right beside my motorcycle, and I was really happy. I obviously got chatting with him. I talked to him, and one thing led to another, and soon I took a test ride on the motorcycle. I laid 25 to 30 kilometers. Paid him for the fuel, obviously, because he looked like a student. So yeah, I'm a good citizen. Also, after that, I guess I have a proper idea of how the motorcycle handles and how the motorcycle feels. I do not have any videos of it because obviously I do not have that helmet cam to actually take videos, but I have a few pictures of the motorcycle that I took, and as you can see, this motorcycle is properly registered. So guys, that was the story, and without any further delay, let's get right into the video. So first, let's begin with our first category, which is engine and power. This motorcycle is powered by a 124.7cc engine, which is actually a teeny tiny mouse that is running on a wheel if you actually open the body up. This motorcycle makes close to about 15 brake horsepower, which is enough to take you from 0 to 100 in as much time as Chinnaswamy Muthuswamy Venugopal Iyer took to tell his entire name.
Rajashekara Srinivasana Trichipalli Yakyaparampiela Perambadura Chinnaswamy Muthuswamy Venugopal Iyer.
I kid you not, it is pretty slow and sluggish. On a serious note guys, what I mean is this motorcycle off the line in the first gear is pretty slow and sluggish to accelerate. This is because of the lack of torque this motorcycle possesses.
Age
D03.
D
03.
0.
It is not at all quick, or it does not feel like a sports motorcycle when it actually gets off the line. Once you shift into second gear, yes, you do have some usable power, but it is still not a really fun sport bike experience that you actually get. But guys, with that said, this motorcycle can actually take you from point A to point B in a city pretty nicely. You will get there, you'll get there slow, but you will definitely get there. So now let's move to the part which is good about this engine. This engine is a supremely refined engine. Even at the higher RPMs, when you wring the bike out completely, the engine is very smooth. There are absolutely no vibrations that crept into it. I mean, the engine is done so well on this motorcycle, I absolutely fell in love with it. It is as smooth as dragging your cheek on a velvet pillow. Trust me, it is very smooth. So if you want to take it in the city from point A to point B, you can use it. But if you take it on the highway, you will be hoping that you had just a little bit more power, and at every moment you will be hoping that this engine produced just a little more torque to actually help you in the lower rev ranges. So from that guys, let's move to the looks of this motorcycle. Looks, I get it, are really very subjective, but if you ask me, the looks of this motorcycle are hideous. The front of this motorcycle looks so terrifying. I have seen botched up plastic surgeries that actually look less terrifying than this motorcycle. Also guys, that the color that this dude had chosen, which I rode, is something that I didn't really like because I'll tell you why. It looked very youthful, very funky, and honestly it looked like a color that a TikTok enthusiast would probably like, or a Reels enthusiast would probably like. But if you're a person who's decent, who's sophisticated, and you want a really good color for this motorcycle, I suggest you take the dark galvano color because that looks good. No matter what KTM says or any other person says that this motorcycle's looks are inspired from the MotoGP looks and whatnot, that is completely false guys. The MotoGP KTM motorcycle does not look like that. I make videos day and night on MotoGP. I even watch races, so it does not look anything like that. That is just some marketing gimmick to fool you guys. guys, this motorcycle has a very bulky front and a very slim rear end, which actually looks like this motorcycle has never skipped chest day and bicep day, but it has definitely skipped all of its leg days. So guys, next let's now let's talk about the ergonomics and comfort. Definitely the seat height on this motorcycle has been increased. I am a tad below 5 feet 9. Yes, I know, not very tall, but I had to tiptoe this motorcycle. I have a previous gen RC, and on that I can actually flat foot on this motorcycle. Also guys, with this means that if you are somewhere below 5'6", you're gonna need some training wheels. From that, let's talk about the handlebar. The handlebar on this motorcycle has definitely been raised, which is a very good move in my opinion. Because of this, you sit in a much less committed position, which equals to much more comfort on the motorcycle. And I bet most of you, if not all of you, are going to ride this 125 in the city itself, and you can get from point A to point B in a much more comfortable manner. Another good thing that KTM has done is the material of the seat. The seat feels much more comfortable if you compare it to the previous gen RC. It is a big difference that I have noticed. It is much comfortable, and I absolutely love what KTM has done. But not all is good. The pillion experience has actually become much more terrifying. First, the pillion would sit on the first floor. Now, the pillion actually sits on the second floor, which means the pillion has been elevated and he or she is one more step closer to God. It is a split seat setup, unlike the previous gen RC, and the rear pillion seat is even more raised, which makes it more terrifying. But do not worry guys, KTM gives you these new grab handles, which means that you have something to grab onto in case you're terrified other than your dear life. To sum it all up guys, I'll say that this motorcycle has become much more comfortable for the rider. It's still a terrifying experience for a pillion, so if you're going to ride it solo, go buy it, you'll be happy. But if you're going with a pillion, think twice. Also, if you're a shorter rider, maybe you should look at the other options available. From that, let's move on to the fuel tank and mileage. KTM has done a very good thing by making the belly of its motorcycle much more fatter. It now has a 13 plus liter fuel tank, which is a really good move from my opinion, as opposed to the minuscule 9.5 liter fuel tank that we used to get on the previous gen RCs, which was simply comical if you ask me. I haven't gotten a chance to test the mileage of this motorcycle because I just rode it for about 25 kilometers ish. But this motorcycle should give you about 40 to 45 kilometers per liter, which is decent enough in this price. I'd say it's not the best obviously, but it's decent enough in the price, which means that you will have some money left over to actually buy yourself a couple of beers, because you're going to be sad when you see a dude on an N-Torque just whiz past your motorcycle and your so-called sport motorcycle can't do much about it. So from that guys, let's move on to what's new in this motorcycle. Firstly, that is new is obviously the design. From the front, from the rear, everything is new. And from the front, it actually looks like a giant praying mantis. That is something that is new. Also, there is a new split trellis frame. So that is a new addition as well. Also, the seats are new, which is a very positive move as far as the rider is concerned. At least they've made it much more comfortable. Also, another thing is that the instrument console is new. This is a very good move. This has been taken right out of the Adventure 250. It looks really good in my opinion. It's feature packed, much better than the older one that you used to get on the RCs, the 19th century one. That was absolutely hideous, and the time had come to change it. Also, you get new and lighter alloys. You do get new and lighter disc brakes, which is a good addition in my opinion as well. Also guys, you do get a bigger airbox, which is I guess another good addition. But one thing that I am not really happy is now the indicators are actually integrated into the fairing, which means the chapris are going to have a reason to actually remove their mirrors and ride around like absolute hooligans. Guys, now let's move on to the final part and let's try and answer the question, which is, should you buy this motorcycle, and if not, what more should you buy? Guys, when I reviewed this motorcycle, when I was riding it, I struggled to find the good things about this motorcycle when you take into consideration how expensive this motorcycle actually is and what the competition is actually offering to you. If you want a motorcycle that has better looks, power, torque, price, feature, speed, comfort, mileage, reliability, build quality, top speed performance, go buy the R15 V4 or go buy the R15M. Though that is a far superior motorcycle in every way than the KTM RC 125. Also guys, if you don't want that, you want a more comfortable motorcycle, there are many more options available from Suzuki, from Yamaha, from Honda. Take a look at those options, but do not consider this 125cc motorcycle because it's really very overpriced. Also, if you want a scooter in this category, you're not adamant on buying a motorcycle, you can look at the Ntorq. It is much more better in every way and form possible. Don't get me wrong guys, I am a KTM fanboy as well. I do love KTM and I am not here to throw dirt on them. But here this motorcycle is really not good. That's why I have said the things that I have said. Also guys, let me tell you that if you really are hell-bent on buying a KTM motorcycle and you must have a KTM, do consider looking at the RC 200 or the Duke 200 or even the Husqvarna motorcycles, which are 250cc motorcycles. I agree, the Husqvarnas and the Duke and all, it's not cheap, but they do have that KTM character, they do have that DNA. This motorcycle has none of that. So if you go ahead and actually buy those motorcycles, you will be much more happier. It will feel like a real KTM and it won't feel like a Honda Shine after spending that amount that you're spending. Which gets me to the point, the cost of this motorcycle. This motorcycle will cost you more than 2 lakh rupees on road if you want to buy it right now in whichever city that you are in. Also, you are getting a 125cc engine for that price, which is horrible. KTM is a brand value is associated with that brand, but that doesn't mean you pay any amount of money to make that bike yours. If you want that same 125cc experience, you can go and buy the Bajaj Pulsar Naked 125, which will cost you 80,000 rupees ex showroom. So where is 80,000 rupees ex showroom and where is 2 lakh rupee plus on road? Do you see the difference guys? It's a massive difference. Do not make this mistake of buying this motorcycle and falling into a KTM trap is all I'm going to try to tell you. But if I have to rate and talk about some of the positives of this motorcycle, I'd say the refinement of the engine is really good. Looks being a subjective matter, so some of you might like the looks. The seat of this motorcycle is much more comfortable than before, and also the fuel tank is now bigger, which means that it is a good change and you can have less time spent on the fueling station and more time on the bike. So those are the only positives that I could think of the motorcycle. But if I want to sum this review up, I would be like, it is a decent motorcycle. It is nothing awesome. It is terrible value for money. But as a package, if you don't look at the price, it is a decent motorcycle. But I suggest if you to look elsewhere, and if you can actually buy something else, that would be great. It would save you a lot of money and you would be much more happier. So guys, that is all I have to say for this video. If you like what you see, hit the like button. If you disliked what you see, hit the dislike button twice. Also guys, if you're new to my channel, please make sure you subscribe and ding the notification bell, because I do bring such kind of videos and MotoGP content on a really regular basis. With that guys, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.